right here in Cal Poly. I'd like to introduce our local 9/11 Truth Movement. If you could just take a minute each, and I mean 60 seconds, because these guys are great, they're doing a lot of work, and they need your help. So they're going to tell you how they got into this, where they meet, how you can help, and maybe a couple of personal stories, and your name.
I've been following Russell Hogan. I've been following 9/11 since the day when that was my cartoon day. And I did a cartoon on it for that week, so that's what I woke up to that morning. So there hasn't been a day that goes by that I'll be open to hearing something about it. I believe it was politically motivated since day one. It's just one of those great events that the gentleman in the back mentioned. It's just too coincidental for its power.
And what are you doing now to help?
Right now, I just recently joined this particular group, a friend of Mark's and Don's.
And what's it like?
It's excellent.
Yeah? What are you guys doing?
I'm telling friends and family.
Uh-huh. Are you having organized events? What kinds of events?
I'll leave that to Mark.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Hi, I'm Mark Phillips, and everybody has their own event that kind of wakes them up to this. And for me, it was when I read Stephen Jones's paper about the molten metal that was discovered and the fact that hydrocarbon fires just can't get anywhere near hot enough to melt steel. And it was up until then I had my suspicions. I wondered why the planes didn't get intercepted. I wondered about a lot of stuff. But then it just hit me. It's like, holy heck, they got the evidence, they got the proof, and that's when I started getting more involved. I met with Amy Goodman in New York and handed her the paper. I handed her Stephen Jones's paper, and I said, why aren't you covering this? And she said a bunch of stuff I don't have time to tell you about right now, but as you know, Democracy Now! Has not done a very good job of covering this, and I'm very disappointed about that. An upcoming event, July the 12th, it's a Sunday at the Steinberg Gallery in San Luis Obispo at 7:30, I think. We're going to be discussing this, an event there, a couple hours at the Steinberg Gallery, so keep your eyes and ears open for that.
And you'll get an email about these events if you sign the paper. We'll share it with the local truthers. Do you need their help?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I mean, we need everybody's help. If you're on board with this and you're able to talk to your friends and stuff about it, I mean, that's how this happens, you know. You hear it from somebody that you know, and up until then you hadn't thought about it much, but then somebody that you know and maybe you trust a little bit is talking about this in dead seriousness, and then it starts to get through. And a lot of times I noticed at the AIA convention when we were talking to professional architects and engineers, you could see that as this stuff was being told to them, it was sinking in, and it just takes a while to sink in, you know. They hear all the facts and all, but then they got to go away and think about it a little bit, and that's what we have to do. We have to keep this going, and of course, you know, we could use a couple of bucks of donations in the back there to help pay for this. That would be great. But there's all kinds of ways you can help, and there's Rich Vesco has a flyer he'll tell you about that'll have some more information.
And when do you guys meet so that they know when and where to show up?
Well,
how often?
We're not that organized to have a schedule, so.
They will be. How many of you will come to a meeting to find out how you can help? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Do you want to have a meeting now? Do you want to get organized now? I mean, let's not wait. So sign the petition, and these guys will figure out and get organized what the hell they're doing, and then you give you when and where and how often, and then you can show up.
Yeah.
How's that?
Okay. One other comment on that. There is a local, so a lot of people have heard about Hope Dance. Bob has a listserv for this 9/11 discussion group. So if you go to the Hope Dance website, that's hopedance.org, and poke around a little bit, you'll find it. It's a 9/11 discussion group. Sign up for that, and that's how we're spreading our messages about meetings and stuff.
And if you don't want to sign for whatever reason, what is your phone number so people can at least find out about it?
My email address is probably the easiest way to get a hold of me. My email address is mrppy.
Let's get his email address. No, go ahead.
That's
mrppy, Mary, Robert, Paul.
Yes. At fixfix.net.
At fixfix.net. Okay, this is Paul.
My name is Steve Arnold. I'm one of the newest members to the local chapter, and I first found out when I saw Loose Change about 3 years ago. It was a shocker, opened my eyes. I didn't want to believe it, and I dug deeper to find out that, to hopefully find out that it was a bunch of crackpots. But with this subject, the deeper you look, the more relevant and the more abundant the evidence is, and you cannot turn away. Once you open those pages of David Ray Griffin's book, I read it in less than 2 days. And from that moment forward, I see the vital importance of this topic being disclosed to everyone in this country. We have got to stop this fraudulent war on terrorism, which is going to destroy this republic. Just like the Roman Republic disintegrated very shortly after becoming a military empire, we are on that verge. It's up to every one of you in this room to dedicate yourselves, now that you've been exposed. Tell all your friends. I've lost countless friends and family. My family thinks I'm a crackpot. It doesn't matter.
How many of you share that experience?
It does not matter what people think of you. We are the patriots that can put this country back together. It's vitally important. Here's the man. Here's the man that brought me into this cause locally.
Thanks, Steve. My name's Rich Pesco. I got into this movement about 3 years ago. It took me about a year for it to really sink in, and I just couldn't sit at home on the couch anymore. So my friend Matt Whedon and I, for about a year and a half, almost 2 years now, I've been doing every other week at Farmers Market Information Booth, handing out free DVDs.
Well, there's an activity. Every other weekend, they have the banners out there at the farmer's market, handing out DVDs, flyers. Let me just steal your thunder for a moment, Rich.
Sure.
Because in your brochure, you saw examples. No longer do you have to just talk to people and say, hey, I'm a conspiracy theorist and want to listen to my conspiracy? Right. No, you say, hey, there's 600 architects and engineers, 700 now, demanding a new investigation. Help me understand what this is all about. Are they all conspiracy theorists? What's going on? We've highlighted all the evidence for you on these cards. You can buy them at the table, a package of 100 for something like 9 cents a piece. You can get them online if you don't want to get them tonight at our website, ae911truth.org. And there's street brochures. They're all combined. Building 7 on one side, the Twin Towers on the other, and the top of these are only 6 cents a piece, or 10 cents, excuse me. What the government and media won't tell you about 9/11. Hundreds of architects and engineers reveal. It's pretty cool. You can buy 100 of them very inexpensively. And get, while you're doing that, get 6 to 12 of these DVDs and keep them to different friends. This is a grassroots movement growing by millions every year only because of us. We have to become the media because the media is not doing their job. There's a problem at the media. This story it has a lid on it, and it's a real problem for us. Go ahead, Rich.
Well
Sorry.
said. No problem. I just want to briefly mention, at our booth, one of the biggest questions we get is, why are you doing this? What do you want to see come out of this? I do have an information sheet that I did up for our local group, and I think Peggy's handed them out. This is the white sheet, many of you guys who came in. It's got some resources, it's got some ideas. There is a New York City ballot initiative for the November ballot that is almost assuredly going to qualify for the ballot to start a new investigation, a subpoena power in the city of New York. It's only New York City voters can sign it, unfortunately, but you can donate to that cause. It's very important, probably one of the best chances we have to get an actual new investigation with subpoena power, because I really don't think it's going to come from the Congress or the federal level. I have my doubts about that. Anyway, I just wanted to mention again, look for us every other week out there at Farmers Market. And when you do approach your friends on this subject, you don't necessarily have to give them the whole spiel. It's not like, join an Amway where you got to turn everybody into a business prospect and go bug the hell out of them and they all never answer the phone from you again. Just plant a seed. That's all you really need to do is just say, ask a question. Say, God, did you hear, I heard some information about this, and it's really got me intrigued and I'm looking into it. You don't have to say, I'm totally converted or whatever, because a lot of people don't want to hear it. It's cognitive dissonance. They don't want to hear that their government may have been involved in this or even elements of it. A lot of people just want to go on with their own lives. They're worried about their job, their economics, whatever's going on. But this is really central to all the foreign and domestic policy that has happened in the last 8 years. So I encourage you all to, if you don't take big steps, take baby steps. And thanks for coming tonight.